Hello and welcome to Shopping for the Real You. I am Andrea Pflaumer, the author of Shopping for the Real You, and today I have a very special treat for you. My guest is Brigitte Niasch. Brigitte is the author of 4 books. I know of 3 of them. One of them is called The Sensual Dresser. The other one is called Dress to Impress, which I really love. And she has a brand new book out that I think is a must read, not only for everybody over the age of 50, but really for everybody. It's called Living Well. I'm sorry, Living Longer, Living Well. So welcome, Brigitte Niasch.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
I
you.
also know that I want to tell you a little bit about her history because Brigitte comes with a great wealth of knowledge, and she is a former model, a former pattern designer and clothing designer. She owned her own boutique, and now she's doing philanthropic work with a wonderful organization in New York called the Bottomless Closet, is it?
Yeah, it's a bottomless closet. It's a very funny name, but it's a bottomless closet.
But I want you to describe, before we start, I want you to describe to our viewers what that is and what you do there.
Basically, we dress women who have gotten an interview and were sent to us by USA Works and New York Helps. And, these are all agencies who help these women who are on welfare and who have no place to live and who live in shelters and so forth. And when they get a job interview, they send to us by these agencies and we dress them. And from head to toe, shoes, bags, everything. And then we do their resume as well. But what the clothes do, more than actually making them just look appropriate and nice, they give them the confidence they need. Most of them have only worn jeans for years, yeah, or have only jeans. They have nothing else, yeah.
Right.
And so we dress them. And what I think is very nice, when they get the job, they come back and they get 3 more outfits.
Oh,
Because,
wonderful.
it gets them to the first paycheck because, like I said, a lot of them have only what they have on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice when they walk out and have a big smile on their face and, are ready for the interview. Yeah. So I enjoy doing that, I must say. Yeah.
And you're giving them a tutorial on how to dress. So this
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Or some say that I've never had anything, I didn't have a coat for years, and so it's very nice that they get a feeling of, and sometimes it's a little difficult because they don't, you see, having always been in jeans, they put on another pair of pants and they say, oh, I don't think this fits. This is because they lose it. They don't have the same look and feeling, you see, to it. But
Right.
then you have to convince them that it is for a job and it's not, to go down the street and have a pizza.
You're right.
It's, yeah, but
Well,
it's
and as I said to you before, I think anybody who wants to learn about dressing well
yeah,
should go and watch Brigitte at work in this wonderful organization.
yeah.
So this is the first of a series of videos we're going to be doing, and today we're going to talk about my favorite topic, and I have told you before, we're talking about shoes, and I admit to having a shoe fetish. So first, I guess the first question we want to know is, how many pairs of shoes do you have or do you need?
That's a very tricky question.
Yes, it is.
And if I can ask you something back, when you say you have a shoe fetish, how does that work? Is it a certain style, or is it just shoes, or what makes it what makes you buy them?
I have always loved shoes. I just feel that uh, for my personality type, they really say something.
Uh-huh.
And if my shoes don't say something that reflects who I am, they feel like an afterthought.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm just my attention always goes to the shoes. I laughingly say, but it is true that every time the UPS man appears at the door,
yeah.
my husband rolls his eyes. And this topic will come up in our conversation. I do tell you that I do send a lot of these shoes back when I order them because I do order online a lot, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always try to give away at least one pair of shoes if I buy a new one.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, since we're going to talk about shoes, I would just like to start off with 2 things. One was my grandmother's idea, who used to say, a woman's look is defined by 2 things, her hair and her shoes. And if you want to catch a man, it was Marilyn Monroe who said, if you want to catch a man, wear high heels.
I think that's
two, two standard things, you know. I mean, just two nice, two thoughts which I always thought were very nice, you know. And I think it makes a different. It does finish your look. It absolutely does. Yeah. I mean,
and
some.
why high heels? What makes high heels? I mean, many women already probably know this, but let's talk about it. What makes high heels sexy looking.
It changes the leg. You see, it's not so much the shoe; it makes your leg look better. Yeah, I mean, even I have a girlfriend; she has beautiful legs, really. And but you know, she wears flat shoes too. But the day she comes in high heels, the men really turn around and look at her legs. Yeah, it's amazing. It makes the leg longer. The shape comes out more. Yeah, it just does something for the leg. So that's what I think. And you know, I think also the heel leads the eye up along the leg, and that might be a sexy idea for men, you know.
Yeah. I know my friend Dory Jacobson, who's now I think 81, maybe 82,
Yeah,
she only wears heels and she wears high heels. She wears at
yeah,
least 3-inch heels.
that's amazing. Yeah. Also, she probably never gave it up. You see,
That's right.
when people keep doing it all the time, then they can do it. Yeah. But when you go in between, and then some people say, "Oh, I can't wear those anymore," that's the end of it. You know. Then they can't go back to it. Their feet become also bigger. You know, they stretch out. Yeah. Which unfortunately, over the years, we all have a size bigger shoe all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
started
right.
at 8 and now I'm 9.5, and I say, what happened, you know? Because because I think our feet get bigger with the years because we use them more, we walk more on them, you know. And but if you keep doing it, your friend is very, she must be very good in her heels.
She looks great. So uh, now let's say you're not as stable on a high heel. What kind of, but you want to wear heels. What kind of shoes? Oh, those are
Yeah.
gorgeous.
You see, they give the support, you know. I mean, this is still flat if you think
Can
about
you
it.
lift it up a little bit so we can see it better?
Right.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, God, those
I
are
that's
gorgeous.
and but here they're very comfortable, very plain, and then this gives you the support. You see, so if you can't wear heels, go for the wedge. And they are lovely wedge shoes, like you can see, you know, with the patent leather. Some have glitter and lovely styles out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so and while we're at the shoes, when you wear flats only, which some people do, and that's nothing wrong with that, buy pretty ones. Can you see this one? Yeah,
It's beautiful.
you know, and it says something. You see, it's not just a flat shoe.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it still is a little fancy, and it says something. So, and there are a lot of pretty shoes out there. It's like we have a huge choice at the moment, you know. It's sometimes the choice is sometimes really what tempts you. Yeah, you go in a shoe store, you pass the window, and you think, oh, look at those shoes, and you know that makes you buy sometimes too. Yeah.
Now, one of the most important things I think, and I know you talk about this and you write about this, is when to buy shoes and how to buy shoes. So let's
Right.
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, first of all, I think buying them in the afternoon is a good idea because your feet have already, you know, spread out a bit again. When you get up in the morning, they have shrunk and, you know, everything is kind of smaller if you want. And when you walk all day, you know, your feet swell and so forth and get bigger. So you should buy them if possible in the afternoon. And before you send a pair back, wear them in the afternoon again. I mean, you know, try them to wear them in the afternoon and see how they really are. Yeah. And then when you're in a store and you try them on, try to walk on a hard floor. On carpet, they're all comfortable. You know, I don't know, it seems to cushion the sole and they feel comfortable. And then you get on the street and you think, oh, what happened? You know, did I make a mistake? And once you've worn them on the street, they're not returnable. Yeah. So try and find a spot in the store where there's hardwood floor and walk on that, yeah, a few minutes just to get the feeling of it. Yeah. And so that I think is very important. And uh, the other thing is also don't let the girls say they stretch. They don't stretch. I mean, they do some stretch. For example, suede leather stretches more than leather. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a fact. When it's patent leather, they never stretch even the slightest bit. I mean, the patent leather is very hard and it will never stretch. Yeah. The best chance you have that it could stretch is the suede. Yeah. So, but I mean, the best idea is that they're already comfortable when that they don't pinch you anywhere when you buy them. Yeah,
That's
that's
really important. Um,
important.
you wrote something very interesting in Dress to Impress about what you do with shoes when you first before you wear them. I've never heard of this before, but I'm going to try this, I guess.
I tell you, it's not my invention. I read this years and years, a long time ago, somewhere in Europe. Somebody told me, I think. First of all, before you wear a shoe out, always wear them at home first to walk them in. To make that a little easier and better, fill them with water, like warm water, just up to here, and like a second or two, and pour it out, and then you wear them. Then you have to wear them because now everything is kind of moist, and if you don't wear them, it dries and it pulls, becomes even tighter. Yeah, but if you wear them right away, it takes the shape of your foot and they become soft. So it's a
Amazing.
very it's a cute.
Amazing.
It works, I must say. Yeah, and then also there is on QVC they sell shoe stretchers. They
I
think
do
you
not
can.
have those.
They work too. But again, you see, even when I have those, and sometimes when I want to do something, I make those wet too before I put them in the shoe. You see, when I don't have time to walk in them myself, I make the because it's in velvet, it's some kind of a fabric also. So I make that moist, yeah, and put them in the shoe. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that helps too. Yeah. So
I know one of the things I always do when I buy a new pair of shoes is I spray them with anti-stain
yeah,
guard
yeah.
because I wear a lot of suede shoes. And if you talked something about some product that you can get that preserves suede, or
Yeah. I mean, mind you, the spraying is a good idea for leather shoes too, because leather shoes
yes,
get scratches too. But for the suede, not in the drugstore, but in the shoe repair stores, they have all special products for shoes, and they have sprays for suede, which is beautiful. It makes them like new. Yeah,
great,
not in the drugstore. You have
yeah,
these little. You probably
right,
have in your area these little repair stores. Yeah, and
right,
they have all kind of products that help your shoe look better. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So let's talk about different kinds of shoes. So if you're wearing a skirt, for example,
Yeah,
what do you recommend? What kind of shoe?
a pretty one. Yeah, it's a pretty one. And it doesn't have to be high. It can be flat, but it has to be a pretty one. And when you put it on, when you put your dress on, the problem is that a lot of people don't have full-length mirrors.
Mm,
They have. I mean, I did a wardrobe consultation with somebody, and I said, "Where is your mirror?" Oh, she said, "I look in the bathroom." And I said, "How can you look in
I
the
can
bathroom?
see
You
the
only see
shoes.
yourself to here. So you have to see it. So when you put your dress on, put the shoes on, and look in the mirror, and you will see it if you like it or not. And if you think this doesn't look so right, it's the wrong shoe, because you know better than you think what looks nice. You really do. Yeah. Now, if it has a heel, that always is very nice with a skirt, but they can be flat. But just I would say pretty is really the criteria. Yeah.
Because more of your leg is showing.
Of the leg is showing, yeah. And then there's another thing, the length of the skirt sometimes has also something to do with how good something looks. There is a point on your leg where if that skirt hits you there, you look like you're staying in a hole. It's too long, yeah. It should hit you, I mean, unless it's a long skirt down to the ankles, then it's a different thing. But it should hit like not more than a little bit than halfway down the calf, and then it looks nice. Yeah, because you need to see a little bit of the leg. But some people have so much showing in, and
Yeah,
you don't know if it's a short skirt or long skirt, and no shoe helps that really.
yeah.
So skirt length has something to do with this as well. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
I would like to mention boots if you don't mind.
Oh, please. That's my favorite. I have too many boots.
How many pairs you have, you think?
I just ordered some more, so I'm not going to count right now.
Count that now. But I counted mine. I counted mine before I spoke to you. I have 7 pair of boots.
Ah, okay.
and and they last forever. Also, boots last. I mean, this is not something that really goes out of
That's
fashion. The
right.
style changes a bit, but I have 5 pairs which go up to the knee, and 2 which the short ones for pants, and one of them has heels, and the other one is flat for when it snows. Yeah, but among those boots that you have, you should have a pair of cowboy boots. Cowboy boot, and oh, by the way, cowboy boots look great with a skirt. I mean, if you have a pair of cowboy boots on a skirt, that looks fantastic. Yeah, and they look young. They give without looking too young. I mean, you're not trying to look young when you wear cowboy boots. Yeah, but they give a very nice look, a very nice feeling. And you know, they come in black, they come in brown, they come, and I don't. I think the basic ones are the best. When they have rhinestones and stuff, that that's for. I
Well,
always say
if you're a country and western star, you can wear those.
I call that, you know, a classic, nicely with the stitching and all that, you know, and they have a little heel always, so you're not totally flat with them, and they look great. They really look great, and you can have, I have a brown pair and a black pair, yeah, and so they can go with anything I wear, and they're comfortable. I always get a compliment on it. You can put your pants in, you know, you can put the jeans in, and we wear a lot of jeans. Everybody does. So they look great with jeans. So cowboy boots are a must.
So if you're an older woman, let's say you don't want to show the skin on your legs because you have varicose veins or
But
something, but you want to wear cowboy boots and a skirt,
yeah,
you just wear dark stockings.
you just make sure the skirt hits the top of the cowboy boot.
Oh,
That,
okay.
because what I don't think is very, I mean, visually it's very nice when there is a space between the boot and the skirt.
Ah,
It's nothing. What are you trying to show? You know. So if the skirt hits the top of the boot, then it's a complete look. You know. And when you see pictures of these cowgirls, for example, it's always the case. They have these very nice skirts, you know, and which are just at the level. I mean, which are just hit the boot, and it looks lovely. Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, that is so great. Well, this has been wonderful and delightful and informative. I want to ask one question too. We talked earlier, but I forgot to ask you about this. For sandals, uh, is there any recommendation about sandals? Because in the summertime, we just,
Yeah.
don't always want to cover our feet.
No, I have one rule for myself, but I think it would be good if more people maybe did this. I like a strap in the back. I don't like when, you know, you just slip in and then the whole heel is exposed, you know. And heels are not the prettiest thing in the world, you know. They're really not. And with some people, they're really not. So if you have a strap in the back, it doesn't have to be big, you know, just like it somehow also finishes the shoe more. It looks more like a shoe, not just like something you put your foot in, yeah. And so I think that is important. And they can be open anywhere they want. But this strap in the back just finishes the whole look a little bit better, you know.
And I think it says it's what you talk about a lot. It shows that you care, you're paying attention, and that
Yeah.
you're looking at the whole look. You're not, it's just not an afterthought that you're throwing on a pair of slippers or something.
I think the worst thing anybody has done to women is to invent the flip-flops. The flip-flops belong to the beach or in a garden or on a patio or something. But you know, there was even a few years ago, young girls they wore it to the White House. You know, they got pulled up on it, by the way. But I mean, in the summer, it's everywhere,
Right.
everywhere, and it's very bad for your legs. You know, they're totally flat, and the doctors warn against them. They say don't wear these flip-flops. You need something to support your foot. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right.
So I always think, what a horrible thing. It's like the holy grail of shoes is a flip-flop.
Well, and the other thing is that if you don't have anything around the back, around the ankle of them, your toes have to grip, and
Right.
that causes a lot of problems like plantar fasciitis.
Yeah,
So
no,
you
yeah.
don't want to do that.
Right, right. You know, so, but I was now getting away from it. The minute, you know, the spring comes, out come the flip-flops. Yeah.
Right.
And anyway, but the doctors say eventually, like you say, your feet will get a problem with that because, and I think feet are like the stepchild of our body. We don't pay enough attention
That's
to our
right.
feet. And
That's
my
right.
God, we need them. I mean, we need them so much, you know, and you hear people saying, my feet this and my feet that. We need to take care of them. Yeah. And sometimes when, I don't know, people who have a pedicure, for example, have a massage at the same time. It doesn't cost much more, but it helps your feet feel better. Yeah. So, you know, pay attention to
I
your
I've seen a number of men at the place where I get pedicures
Yes.
because it's good for their health. And that reminds me of one other thing I wanted to recommend a website to our viewers. Kirsten Borank has a website called Barking Dog Shoes. She herself has rheumatoid arthritis, and so she didn't want to give up pretty shoes. So
Yeah.
the whole website is devoted to finding pretty shoes that are comfortable. So there's no excuse.
No, there's really no. But again, like with everything else about your look or your appearance, it takes a little time and it takes attention. And if you think you're worth it, because it's really for you, you do it. You're not doing it
That's
for the other people. It's it's for yourself. If you think you're worth it, you make the effort. And if you don't, well, you say I don't care, and and it's sad. So sort of, especially
that's
it's
right.
sad, especially when we get older. Because like I always say, unfortunately, we don't get prettier. But we can still work with what we have, and make ourselves look so that people think that person cares about herself.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my mother, she died at 89. Till the last day, she had her nails done, her hair, she was nicely dressed. It was a pleasure to see her. Yeah. You never thought, oh, that old lady, because she looked so nice. Yeah.
That's
So,
beautiful. I love that. I have a 92-year-old neighbor from Italy who still gets her hair colored and wears makeup, and I just
yeah.
love watching her.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's, because like I said, you don't want to pass a mirror and say, who's that?
Or scream.
Us him. But it does take a little effort and a little attention also. But everything in life does. So
That's
why
right.
can't we include ourselves in this process?
Exactly.
Look,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Brigitte Niash, the book is called Living Longer, Living Well. And our next episode, we're going to talk about an extremely important subject. We're going to talk about makeup and self-care.
Yeah. Care versus makeup and dressing. Yeah, because that will be very interesting, I think.
Wonderful.
Talk
Thank
about
you
that.
so much for joining us today. And thank you for watching on Shopping for the Real You. And we'll see you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.